back, it's a story that's dominated the headlines for a fortnight. And last weekend, comedian Freddie Starr was caught up in the Jimmy Saville scandal when he was accused of groping a then 14-year-old girl on Sir Jimmy's Cunt Click programme.
Well, Freddie denied ever having been on the 1974 children's show. However, after footage of Freddie appearing on the programme surfaced and showed him seated near to his accuser, Karen Ward, he has since denied any wrongdoing.
Today's Freddie is here with his fiancée, Sophie. Thank you for coming in today, Freddie. These allegations, when was the first time you heard of them?
When my lawyer phoned me up and said what you just said about, you know, the Jimmy Savile thing, and he asked me, did I know Jimmy Savile? And I said, no. Have you ever done a show? I said, well, I can't recall it.
They're very serious allegations.
They are.
And you then were advised to take out an injunction. Why did you do that?
My lawyer advised me just to give us breathing space to collect our thoughts and all the evidence, what we went through. And he even asked me, did you do a show with Jimmy Savile? I said, Dean, I don't know. I really don't know.
Well, it turned out that you did.
Yes, obviously I did, because in the photograph there, and there she was standing behind my back. Well, if you would have widened that photograph out, right?
Yeah.
There was about another 200 people in there besides her.
I think that at the time, many people thought, well, how convenient that you say that you'd met him twice before, but the one time you hadn't recalled.
Well, that just slipped my mind. That just slipped my mind, Phil. You know, I've done hundreds of thousands of shows on television, and you know, on the road. I'm on tour at the moment, and we're up and down the country. I mean, I've been doing it for 50 years. After 40 years, to ask me a question like that, have you ever done a show with Jimmy Savile? I said, well, I can't recall doing it.
Well, it's much more serious than just recalling that one specific show, because then there are the accusations of Karen Ward.
Yes,
and
I'm not allowed to mention Karen Ward.
Well, we can show you what she said, and you can reply to it. This is what she said.
I was horribly, horribly humiliated by Freddie Starr, who had a very bad attack of wandering hands and had groped me, and I didn't like him because he smelled like my stepfather, and it frightened me and freaked me out. And I rebuffed him, and he humiliated me in front of everyone in the dressing room.
She went on to say that you'd humiliated her because of some comment about her small breasts.
No.
I think the facts of the matter are this story's been changed so many times through the press. First of all, apparently Freddie was in the same dressing room as Jimmy Savile and Gary Glitter, and then later on another interview her statement changed, and like yesterday I said, it said, let me clarify, the event with Freddie Starr was on a different occasion of seeing Gary Glitter having sex, and she said that Freddie's reaction, or Freddie's statement, was an overreaction.
Freddie, had you ever been in Jimmy Savile's dressing room?
No, never in a million years.
You never went back in that room after recording?
I never allowed people in my dressing room.
When you were doing that show, were you aware of any inappropriate behaviour that could have been going on?
No. It was like the Leveson inquiry. None of us knew what the press were doing, what Murdoch was doing, you know, to get a story.
Well, we're not really talking about the press. What we're talking about is that occasion in that studio.
It's the press that keep it going and keep it dripping.
I think what it is, it's the women who were abused, who thankfully have now come forward.
Well, I do feel sorry for anyone that's been abused. Of course I do. You know, but when somebody comes out, there's about 5 people. Sorry, I can't say it.
You know what? Let's put all that aside. And let's just talk about you at that time. So, you're not gagged there. You can...
I know from my own my own self being, that I would never, ever, ever touch an underage girl.
Do you believe you could have ever been involved with a girl whose age you were unsure of?
No. No.
Because girls can occasionally look older than they
Listen,
are.
when I was in 1974, I was getting my shirt ripped off my back by girls. You know, getting jumped all over by them. But I kept away from them. I always kept away because I knew that spelled trouble.
So at no point where we're talking about these 60s, 70s, early 80s, at no point do you feel there is anyone else who could come forward and say you were guilty of inappropriate behaviour?
I have never, ever groped a woman in my life. In my life.
What do you think of these accusations and the revelations now of Jimmy Saville?
What do I think about it? I think he's abused his position. Way out, despicable. There's no words to say about that. But you know what that man's done and the way he conducted himself. That is disgusting.
Many people are saying that it was one of those things that was, although unacceptable and illegal, was brushed under the carpet, was ignored in the 60s.
I knew nothing about that.
Did you ever see anything in your career that you would believe to be in the BBC of inappropriate behaviour?
I never saw nothing. I did Top of the Pops once. I was on the stage for 3 minutes. I had another job to go and do. It was a nightclub. I shot straight off with my manager, Tony Cartwright, and we both went away. We never stayed behind. I don't even allow people in my dressing room now. I've never allowed people in my dressing room.
You welcome an investigation, don't
I
you?
welcome a police investigation. I want to be questioned by the police. I want it badly, to be questioned by it. I mean, what was it like, when I met you?
Freddie's never ever, like I was saying to you yesterday morning, Freddie and I were friends for a long time before we ever got together. I was at a very vulnerable point in my life where he never ever took advantage of me. He was there totally as a friend, and he's always been a gentleman 100%. I don't think that this should ever have come out through the media, to be honest. This is why the injunction was taken in place in the first place.
She should have gone to the police and complained. The lady should have gone there and complained. Not to the press, but to the media.
Have you been contacted by the police?
No, not at all. We want the police to get involved. We've got private investigators working on this because we know, and those that know Freddie know that this is untrue.
But it is actually very important the police contact you and contact you quickly because because in your eyes these are false accusations.
They are false. Yes, and I want to tell you, to be accused of something that you know in your heart of hearts. Oh, I slipped up on one show. You said that you never did a job with James Hunt.
Oh yes.
And later on you found out there was a clip of you with James Hunt and you said, God, I didn't know I did that. That's exactly what happened to me. Because I've done that many shows, you do forget.
I think the sad thing is though as well is we live in Great Britain, and in Great Britain you're innocent until proven guilty. There's been no police investigation into this. We have had no contact with the police, and we want the police to get involved and get to the bottom of this, and we want to clear Freddie's name. It shouldn't be all over the press, and you get people saying, oh, he's got a younger partner, it must be true. But it doesn't mean anything regardless of our age difference. We were consenting adults when we met one another, and it should make no difference that Freddie's with a younger fiancé or there's any age difference. Does not mean that these allegations have any truth behind them whatsoever.
There were reports that it had implications on your health. Has it made you poorly?
Yeah, I've got to go to the hospital later on today to get a check-up on my heart because I've been getting palpitations with it. It's stress goes right to the heart, and it's like.
Well, thank you for coming in today, and it could be important, I suppose, and very interesting to see whether or not you are contacted by the police.
But if I do have a heart attack and die, on my gravestone it'll be, I told you I was innocent.
Thank you, Fred.
Cheers.
Right, let's go.